also sanctioned. Where did those funds go? What happened to those funds? The warning gathered dust, ladies and gentlemen, till the time a life was lost. This tells you how the babudam in our country doesn't care once they are in those prestigious chairs. You become an IAS officer, you get a government job at any level, and then that's it. Draw your salary, go home till the time somebody loses his life, and then there is outrage. The pit remained open despite these warnings. 2 warnings didn't go, and 1 life has been lost. A young man died in the most horrific way, pleading to be saved. So not only is this the story about how well prepared we are to deal with such emergencies, our emergency services, whether it's the police, the fire brigade, or any other, and also it is a story of how our officers, administration twiddles their thumbs, don't do anything till the time somebody loses their life. A tragedy that could have been prevented. Yuvraj has been killed by the apathy, negligence, official sleepwalking, and sheer incompetence of the authorities in Noida. And this is unpardonable, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen in to some reactions on this.
है टेकी को लेके वो जो टैक्स बच्चा जो है वो डूबा,
वो दुख का कारण है और चिंता का कारण भी है कि सभी व्यवस्थाओं के बावजूद हम लोग उस युवा को नहीं बचा पाए। ये चिंता का विषय है।
दुख का बात है, चिंता का कारण है. Did Mr. Sharma, the member of parliament, did you see that chinta on his face? It's a customary lip service, ladies and gentlemen. And what arrangements is he talking about? If they can't even save for more than 2 hours somebody's life who is in a desperate need, is that the cost of life in this country? But now knee-jerk reactions are taking place. What are the actions which have been taken place so far? I mean, action which has the government initiated because they want to bring the heat down. Noida Authority CEO has been removed, put on waiting list. Why on waiting list? Why shouldn't he be charged as well? What was he doing when when the warning was given 2 years back? When an accident happened just 15 days back on that spot. Noida Authority CEO removed a junior engineer. He has been terminated because scapegoats have to be found. SIT team has been formed and they have been given 5 days, now 4, to submit their report. And the builder and the real estate owner have been arrested by the police. It's just to let off the heat, and then they will be back. The business of usual, sab chalta hai, will be back. Officials slept on this, ladies and gentlemen, and I keep saying this. This is such a heartbreaking story because Yuvraj could have been alive today if officials acted on the warnings, if they just did what they were supposed to do. 2 warnings were ignored, as I told you. And Yuvraj, paid with his life. Because the file is gathering dust somewhere, this man lost his life. A full life ahead of him. Warning number 1, 2023, official letter flagged the need to install a regulator at this pit. UP Irrigation Department wrote to the Noida Authority on the pit. Said that, you need to take out the water. There were funds which were sanctioned for it. What happened to those funds? We don't know. The warning letter gathered dust, lost in the files as officials went with their chai samosa parties every single day from 9 to 5 and went home. Warning number 2, January 2nd, a truck fell in the same pit. Driver was saved by the bystanders. No action was taken by the officials after this accident as well. And then came 17th of January. Which turned the Mehta household completely upside down, a shock that they will never recover from. Yuvraj's car fell into this pit. He died. Officials didn't act for 15 days and Yuvraj paid with his life, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the truck driver, Gurvinder Singh, who met with this accident on the same spot on January 2nd, has spoken to my colleague Akil. He said that had action been taken, Yuvraj could have been alive. He also said that there were internal injuries left him struggling to speak with stuttering, starting only after the accident. But who does he go and complain to? Because nobody in this country cares. Listen in.
भाई साहब ऐसे हुआ कि रोड से 10 कदम पे नाला है, तो वहाँ कोई साइन बोर्ड नहीं है, वहाँ कोई बैरिकेड नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है। तो हमने तो सोचा कि रोड ही है, तो हमारी गाड़ी वहाँ हिट हो गई। जो गाड़ी के आगे वाले टायर हैं वो आगे चले गए, जो सेंटर वाले हैं वो नाले में फंस गए। तो हमें लगा कि नीचे पक्की जगह है, गाड़ी फुटपाथ पार कर गई। तो मैंने जैसे नीचे छाल मारी, तो भाई साहब इतना इतना पानी था मेरे।
आप कितने घंटे वहां पर फंसे हुए थे?
4 घंटे।
क्या बात कर रहे हैं आप? कह रहे हैं 12 बजे घटना घटती है, आप सुबह 4 बजे तक वहीं पे उसी जगह पर फंसे हुए?
वहीं उसी पे।
कौन कौन आपकी मदद के लिए आया वहां पे?
वो लड़कों का नाम नहीं मालूम है।
नहीं, ये प्रशासन की तरफ से कोई आया? पुलिस की टीम
प्रशासन की तरफ से आए थे, लेकिन कोई मदद नहीं करी। अगर प्रशासन चाहता तो जेसीबी तुरंत आ सकती थी।
नहीं, पुलिस टीम मौजूद थी वहां पे? आई?
2 आदमी आए थे।
कितने बजे आए? कितने घंटे बाद?
वो आए हैं कोई 2-3 के आसपास।
2-3 के आसपास? मतलब घटना 12 बजे की होती है और 2 घंटे बाद, 3 घंटे बाद पुलिस आती है वहाँ?
हाँ।
फायर ब्रिगेड की टीम आई थी वहाँ पे?
कोई नहीं आया।
SDRF की टीम आई थी?
कुछ नहीं आया।
NDRF की टीम आई थी वहाँ
कुछ
पे?
नहीं आया भाई।
नोएडा अथॉरिटी की टीम आई थी वहाँ पे?
कुछ नहीं। नोएडा अथॉरिटी की टीम कब आई? जब मैं बाहर निकल गया अगले दिन 12-1 बजे दोपहर को। तो उल्टा वो हमसे बोल रहे हैं कि हमारे जो नाला टूट गया है इसके पैसे कौन देगा?
हमारे पैसे कौन देगा? And that's, I think, is the bottom line. They only care about where the money is going to come from, not about what they need to do. NDTV confronted the district magistrate of Noida over this Techie's death, over this tragic death. And look how he reacted to the questions which were posed by my colleague Tanushree.
Well, let us also speak to Noida DM Medha Rupam, who is over here. Medha ji, what you have to say on this entire matter? DDMA is the first respondent. Why the team was not present on the spot? Medha ji, the people want to know that what has happened. Today's done, you asked them to don't touch me like this. Don't touch me like this. Please. You need to answer the questions now. क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप? मेधा जी, अशोक जी यहाँ आइए, यहाँ आइए, हटिए। What would you want to say? You are the DDMA was the first respondent. Why you were not present? Medha ji, you are the GM of Noida. What would you like to say? What would you like to say? The DDMA is the first respondent. Let us also go from that side. Why no action is being taken? Was Noida not saying anything? Why did the security is the first respondent? We are just asking questions, nothing else. Why asking questions as to what they have to say? You cannot stop us like this from asking the questions. क्या कहना चाहेंगे? यहाँ पे पानी भरा हुआ है पूरा। Why you not saying anything?
जवाब दीजिए मेधा जी, आप सवालों से क्यों भाग रही हैं?
Medha, people want to know that what has actually happened. You being the first responding DDMA, why DDMA was not there? What you have to say on this? So Noida DM, why was not any preparation?
आप 4 दिन बाद पद पर आई है, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि आप जवाब नहीं देंगे।
So after 4 days of our young life being snuffed out because of the absolute failure of the administration, the DM decides to go then for a recce there, see the spot. And then, I mean, I can understand what would she have to say? What will she say? It was the administration, Noida administration, the district administration, a collective failure, and all of them should be made responsible for this. And while we are talking about how the administration and systems react in our country, a shocking claim has been made in this case. The eyewitness and the only man who had the courage to jump into that cold water in the dark, not the NDMA, not the SDMA, not the fire brigade, not the police. A man who was going, a delivery boy, Maninder Singh, who jumped in the cold water to try and save this man. But alas, it was too late. He now claims that 3 policemen have threatened him. They are pressurizing him to change his statement. Remember, Maninder Singh was the delivery worker who tried to save Yuvraj Mehta, the Noida techie who drowned after his car fell into that pit. Now, the witness in fact says that he can identify the policemen involved. Remember, the Uttar Pradesh government has shunted, top Noida authority officials and set up an SIT but the government has also faced questions from within. Noida BJP MP Mahesh Sharma called the death tragic and raised questions over the delayed rescue response. Now, as I said, how the system functions: first, ignore, let somebody die, don't answer questions, and if there is somebody who in fact tried to do their own job, this man had the courage to jump into that water, try and put pressure on the eyewitnesses so that nothing happens. There are no changes which are made. I want to show you these live visuals, ladies and gentlemen, at this moment. The car which has been recovered from this very spot. In fact, we just saw that crane as well, and the car is being pulled out from this ditch. This is the spot where, unfortunately, Yuvraj lost his life, and it's been over 4 days. The car has just been pulled out from this very site. These are live images coming in at this moment. We'll go back to those visuals, but I want you to listen in first to what Maninder Singh, the man who should have been, in fact, his courage should be saluted, now being put under pressure by the authorities to save their own. Let's listen in.
सर मतलब प्रशासन की तरफ से भी जो लोकल पर्सन हैं वो भी बहुत सारे ये बोल रहे हैं कि अपने फ़ोन को स्विच ऑफ कर दे, यहाँ से चला जा, 10-20 दिन मत दिख, इस केस में मत खड़ा हो खुल के। अब एक चीज़ बताएं सर, मैंने 3 दिन सच्चाई दिखाई है, पूरे ऑल इंडिया को लगा ले, मैंने एक एक छोटी से लेकर बड़े तक, मैंने बिल्डर तक की भी पोल खोली है, अथॉरिटी की पोल खोली है कि जब बिल्डर अथॉरिटी ने ये बेसमेंट सीज किया था, उस बिल्डर के खिलाफ केस हुआ था, अथॉरिटी ने सीज किया था, अथॉरिटी ने इसको लेवल क्यों नहीं किया, ये मौत का गड्ढा क्यों खोद के रखा? फिर अथॉरिटी की भी तो गलती है, मान के चलो, और बिल्डर ने ऐसा बताता कि ओ जी
समझाइए मुझे, आपको थाने बुलाया गया, आपका स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड हुआ है नहीं हुआ?
जी
प्रेशर क्या?
प्रेशर यही है कि इस केस से अलग हट जाओ बिल्कुल ही। जो अपने साथ में लगा के वीडियो में ये बुलवाया था कि मोनिंदर आप एक काम करो, पुलिस को साथ में लेके चलो, पुलिस से आप बैर मत बांधो, ये चीज़ गलत है वगैरह, ये बहुत ज़्यादा गलत हो जाएगी आपके लिए, ऐसे ऐसे बोल के मेरे साथ वीडियो बनाइए।
Let me at this moment go across to Ms. Kiran Bedi, former IPS officer, Lieutenant Governor, somebody who has been a very important voice on these issues as well. Ma'am, thank you so much for speaking to us. You know, I have tried to just put the spotlight, ma'am, through this program on not only what has gone wrong, but the usual response of the authorities. The police is threatening the eyewitness, the only man who had the courage to jump into that water. There are warning signs which were absolutely ignored. Is this what we expect from the system, ma'am?
Yes, if you have the wrong people at the right places and who do not know how to govern, they do not know how to administer, they don't understand their responsibility. I think they are always shirkers. They are just there for the job's sake, not to serve. You have wrong people at the right places. They don't, you see, you have, and also even now the solutions are not right. You know, you need an STF to know what went wrong. But just transferring an officer is not the solution. They need to be sent home. Go home. The chief engineers go home. Junior engineers go home. The chief secretary CEO goes home and get another transfer sometime later. No, just go home. They need to be voluntarily retired. Similarly, the builder doesn't need to be only arrested. He needs to pay a huge criminal liability for the life of the techie. So I think they all need to go home because none of them actually, these individuals, and the district magistrate goes home. See, unless you send them packing home, voluntarily retiring, this transfer is no punishment. That is why it's happening again and again. In the recent past, Indore was the same case. You had complaints even there, and Indore में भी कुछ नहीं हुआ, यहाँ पर भी शिकायत हुई, कुछ नहीं हुआ. ये सबकी जिम्मेवारी है. And irrigation department should have kept track, should have kept follow up. You just don't need to say. Where is the coordination? Where is it coming together? Because this kind of leadership just does not know how to work together and follow up the matter.
Ma'am, do you think that it keeps happening because there is no penal action against babus, against the people, those who are responsible for this system to work? Nothing happens to them. But a mere transfer from one prestigious post to another prestigious post, so you only can shirk your shoulders and move on. That is why it keeps happening.
That is why, Ankit, I said, they need to be sent home. Finished. Compulsory retired. Either suspended and retired. Go. Go prove your innocence first. What did you do on these? Prove your innocence. Onus is on you. I think that's where we're going wrong. We are continuing to retain people who are in leadership position, but are no leaders. They are impositions. They don't know how to govern. Governance means action. Governance means response. Government means responsibility. Government means knowing what your problem is. Governance means urgency of public service. The problem is none of this is happening. They are not leaders. They are impositions on very important leadership positions. They need to be sent home. STF is required. Transfer is fine, but it needs to be voluntarily retired.
Can I also ask you this whole behavior, and we have seen it time and again, ma'am, of the police forces as well. The only man, the eyewitness who jumped into this frigid water to try and save this young boy, now is being pressurized to change his statement. They believe whatever he has been spoken, oh, he's so outspoken, he will get us in trouble. They are telling him that there will be consequences for him.
Because the police is protecting the same administration. Because the police is part of the same negligence. Because even the police could have flagged. After all, traffic police bhi to hoti hai. Traffic police ne kya kiya yahan? Traffic police should have put up warning signs. Traffic police has a role that this is dangerous. And they could have done a lot of fluorescents. They could have done traffic, they could have done blinkers. Traffic police ka bhi to role hai. Where is the traffic police? Because these areas are traffic management. Traffic police is not for VIP traffic management. Traffic police is also to identify where are the danger zones and then put up all the boulders and fluorescent signs to say avoid this. Similarly, the techie, the person, the builder who's been arrested, he'll be out on bail after 1 week. What happens? Nothing. He'll go back to building. He needs to pay at least 100 crores of compensation. 100 crores. And his builder license should be placed under suspension so that he can't construct anymore. Unless you give exemplary punishments to the negligence, people will continue to lose lives as they did in Indore, as they did now.
You're absolutely right. And I want that to be the last word on this. Exemplary punishment, example needs to be made. Otherwise, we'll be a country that goes from one tragedy to another. We outrage for a day or two, and then things go back to normal. This cannot be business as usual. The chalta hai attitude has to be put to an end. Otherwise, unnecessary lives will be lost.
They need to be sent home packing. Pack your bags and go home. You may have joined the services, but you don't deserve it because you've not fulfilled the purpose of your service. The purpose of your purpose is to serve the people, respond to them, being sensitive, and then being proactive and being acting on the grievances and not sleeping over it. I think they need to be sent home.
Ma'am, because you're saying that, let me very quickly ask you this as well. I mean, we are talking about the administration as well. We have seen how this builder administration, nexus so many times, so many complaints have been made as far as people are concerned. Is there a time to also for our lawmakers to relook? We need more stringent, in fact, laws. If negligence of this costs a life, there has to be a much bigger penalty attached to it.
Amit, all these laws are already there. They're not applied. What sends you? This is criminal negligence. Therefore, the man can be sent home unless he proves his innocence that he did his best to avoid this. So all these, they're all compulsory retirement is a part of the rules, service rules. A criminal liability can be suable. He can be paid the damages. He must pay the damages. So these are license suspension can be there. Traffic police rule, it's negligence. These rules are there, but they're not being applied.
Right.
You don't need more laws. You just need execution and application of these laws. And then be punishing and not being forgiving at the moment.
Right. Ms. Bedi, thank you so much, ma'am, for taking the time out. It's always important to have voices like yours, to put forward at least a right message to the services as well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. I want to very quickly go across to my colleague Techie, who is joining me on the broadcast at this moment. Techie is at the very spot. You heard her earlier when she tried to confront the district magistrate. The car in fact, Yuvraj is being taken out today. Techie, over to you. Just show our viewers what is happening at this moment.
Well, absolutely. We'll show you so as to what is happening right now. What we are being told is that in just some time from now, maybe few minutes from now, the vehicle in which Yuvraj Mehta was, that particular vehicle will now be recovered. As you see that the teams, the NDRF teams are all on their work. They were deep diving so as to find the vehicle, and that's the machine, that's the crane in fact through which the vehicle is now being taken out. You can see it seems like they have actually recovered the vehicle, they have found the vehicle, and then they have attached the hook to the vehicle so that the vehicle could be pulled out. Now imagine the situation, that what the condition must have been at that point of time when Yuvraj Mehta standing at the top of the vehicle, the brave boy in the cold water, standing over there asking for help for more than 60 to 80 minutes, but then again there was no help. In fact, his friend told us that he was his friend told us that after standing on the top of the car, he was continuously in touch with his father, but then he also in fact kept on showing the torchlight of his phone so as to give a signal that where he is. And in fact the rescuer as well, the delivery guy also in fact swam for around 20 minutes. And then the question remains to be seen that why at this point of time, you can see that at that point of time when these teams were not present, why they were not well equipped. You can see that there's this long rope as well, and at any point of time now the vehicle could be moved up, and in the pictures we'll be just watching, we'll be just seeing that particular car of Yuvraj Mehta which was there at this point of time. Remember that we did in fact question the Noida DM Medha Rupam, who dodged all the questions, and to the surprise when we asked the MP of Noida over here what he has to say, Mahesh Sharma, he goes on to say that galtiyan hoti hai aur hum galtiyon se hi seekhte hain. This was his response, and imagine after 4 days the authority have come over here to take the stock of the situation. I mean, where were they after the very incident took place? Where was the SDR, where was the DDMA, and why they, in fact they were not equipped, the SDRF, NDRF and the fire department services as well. And in fact more bizarre is the what the rescuer claims is as of now seems like the rope that was pulling the car, that's broken, and again it time to visual the crane. So now in all likelihood seems like it will take more time to recover the vehicle, but we'll be keep on asking the questions so as to who should be held accountable, because today it's one tomorrow it could be someone else.
All right, like Techie was showing us those visuals, in fact likelihood of the rope being broken, and then they will try the rope again. But I want, ladies and gentlemen, you to look at those visuals. You see that those swanky buildings and the reflection of those buildings while somebody's life was lost in this parcel of land. This is not supposed to be a lake. This is not supposed to be a water body. This is supposed to be a land which was given to a builder for development. There could have been more apartments or whatever they wanted to build here. But because of the apathy, the stagnant water, and also the water from the buildings around, which accumulated here, the waste disposal, the water from the rain, and nobody then took care of it. Nobody cared about it. This water body and the reflection of those nice swanky buildings that you see, Yuvraj was a resident of one such building. This is what you get despite paying such enormous cost for a house in the NCR region. These are the facilities, this is the care, this is the help, this is the amount of civic infrastructure, ladies and gentlemen, you get in the NCR region after paying enormous amount to buy a house, and then of course direct and indirect taxes. The value for your life is nothing. It's zero. Let me go back to Techie for a quick update. Techie, like you said, the rope has been broken. So it will take again some time for them to plug the rope and ensure that the car comes out, isn't it?
Well, absolutely, it will take some more time, and what we can see as of now is these are the SDRF team, and that's the rope in their hand. They're again trying to, mechanically just tie that rope to the car so that it can attach to those hooks that are linked to this crane, and then possibly the crane will be able to lift that vehicle which is there in this drain. And you can imagine the condition, because the drain is so deep over here, because it is taking them more than 6 to 7 hours. We have been reported sitting over here since morning, and we have also been seeing that how they have been, how in fact, they are not able to find out the car, and still the authorities have been saying that action is being taken, the SIT is being formed, and the junior engineer is being suspended. The Noida CEO was, Noida authority CEO was suspended. But the question remains to be seen is, after all these suspension, after all these actions, will they be able to bring the life of Yuvraj back? Yuvraj was standing over here above his car, seeking for help. The NDRF teams were here. They were standing over here. They were just standing. They were not even ready to dive in because they were not trained rescuers. They were not trained divers. And why were these emergency lines made? They are made so that help could be the individual who requires help within minutes they could come.
Try and do. We will come back to you once, in fact, the car is out. We'll try and get those visuals for our viewers. There is still some time before the car comes out. Let's move on to the other stories. Now, in a grand ceremony today, Nitin Nabin assumed the charge of the national president of the Bharatiya Janata Party in presence of Prime Minister Modi and a host of the top leadership of the BJP at the party headquarters in the national capital. The 45-year-old, who was the BJP MLA from Bihar, is the youngest BJP president. In his speech, the first one as the president of the BJP, Nabin laid out party's plan for the upcoming elections in the state of Tamil Nadu, Assam, West Bengal, Kerala and Puducherry. I want to very quickly, as on the euphoria around the BJP president, he will, of course, there will be baptism by fire as far as Nitin Nabin is concerned. Challenges that face him, stare at him right at the beginning of his tenure. Of course, the first big challenge for Mr. Nitin Nabin is going to be the assembly polls. Assam, where there is BJP in power, anti-incumbency, how much of an impact will have that on the elections? That is going to be his first big challenge. West Bengal, BJP's raw nerve. They have been trying for the last two assembly elections to, in fact, topple Mamata Banerjee. It's so far not successful. Whether they would be able to do it under his leadership, that remains a big question. Apart from that, Puducherry and Tamil Nadu, both, of course, Puducherry BJP have tasted power with an ally. But Tamil Nadu is a fortress which the BJP has unable to breach. Will Mr. Nitin Nabin bring something new? And same for Kerala, a fortress where the BJP footprint might be growing. But do they have enough firepower to, in fact, get this state as well and expand their footprint in southern India? Just try and understand and put things in perspective. I have at this moment joining me Mr. Ashok Malik, needs no introduction, and he is in fact going to give us a sense about the challenges and of course the meaning and the messaging as far as Mr. Nitin Nabin is concerned. Thank you so much, Mr. Malik, for joining us at this moment. So let me ask you this. From JP Nadda to Nitin Nabin, what is the change and the messaging that you see behind this in the Bharatiya Janata Party, sir?
Well, the most important transition is a generational transition because Mr. Nabin, Nitin Nabin is 45 years old. He'll turn 46 this year. He's the first BJP president born after the founding of the party. He was born, I think, a month and a half after the party was founded. In a sense, from people who are, in the late 50s, early 60s, and of course even older in government, the leadership of the party is moving to a generation in this 40s which will be at the helm of the party and the government in the late 2030s. So the BJP is really building for a future because it has a leadership now which will serve it for the next decade, if not longer. But it's looking at the future, looking at making itself future ready. Now, obviously, Mr. Nabin will only be part of that story. There'll be others as well. But I think it's very creditable for a ruling party which could have been resting on its laurels, which has a lot of its talent serving in government, where the focus is on governance and on government rather than on the party. It's very creditable for a party of this nature to think out of the box and say, look, we need to build something for the future as well. And that is the primary message coming out of this.
Let me then ask you, sir, the opposition is saying, look at the selection process. It's not an election process. Nobody dares in the BJP for a contest. It is already pre-decided. It's just a rubber stamp president that the party chooses. How do you see this criticism of the opposition?
The point is, Mr. Modi is the senior most leader of the party. He's the prime minister of the country. He's one of the most popular politicians this country has ever seen. So obviously his shadow will be there, and his umbrella will also always be there. One can't wish that away. However, the government and the party are separate entities. While a lot of the BJP's talent is in the government, I think the senior leadership of the BJP recognizes that the party also has to get re-energized, has to change with the times, has to become future ready, and has to appeal to a new generation of Indians, of workers, of issues, from the grassroots upwards. Which is why it has chosen somebody who is a grassroots worker. Now, how good or bad he is as president, only time will tell. But I think it's to the credit of the party that it has chosen somebody who is a grassroots worker, who's worked in a state, who's been part of the organization, and has worked his way up. Because no two presidents of the BJP are identical. They come from different regions. They come with a different set of experiences.
Yes. Mr. Malik, but what do you see as the immediate challenges for Nitin Nabeen? I mean, the party has been in power for 11 years, a lot of churn which has already happened in the party, and time when they are looking at generational shift, leadership for the upcoming years. What are the immediate challenges that you see for him?
Look, at one level, there are 4 state elections coming, but of course, he will not be judged on those 4 state elections. So he's got a slightly longer term horizon. I believe the principal challenge for the BJP today is to give the party an independent identity, to make it future ready, to revitalize its organizational capacities and instrumentalities at a time when there is an obvious inertia after 11 years in power, well into his 3rd term. Keeping a party vitalized and energetic while also staying in office, where the government obviously takes priorities, takes a lot of oxygen, is a challenge for any ruling party anywhere in the world. It was a challenge for the Labour Party in the UK when it won 3 successive elections under Tony Blair. It was a challenge for the Conservative Party under Mrs. Thatcher. It was a challenge for the Congress in the many years the Congress was in power. It is a challenge for the BJP today. And that is the primary challenge that the new party president and the new generation of the BJP has to address.
Can I ask you in conclusion, and a question that a lot of people have been thinking, with such a galaxy of big, powerful leaders led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, a lot of people would be thinking, will he have the elbow room to make executive decisions?
So, obviously, any president of the BJP will have to function under the guidance of Mr. Modi and the Home Minister and other senior leaders who've been around for a long time and have taken the party to great success. But that does not mean the president does not have room for innovation or for agency or of course he does, especially in terms of, as I said, revitalizing the organizational structure of the party, which is now seeing some inertia, even fatigue after 11 years in power. One cannot deny that. And I believe the BJP is recognized by saying, okay, let's give this a new generation a push. And let's see what it brings to the table to make us future ready and future relevant even 15 years from now.
Mr. Ashok Malik, thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the broadcast and getting us your views on this important political development in the Bharatiya Janata Party. All right, there is in fact breaking news coming in. I want to take you back to these visuals of Noida, where the car in which that unfortunate accident took place. Yuvraj, who was driving this car, Yuvraj Mehta, and crashed into this ditch. After 4 days, his car has finally been taken out. Remember, he was standing on top of this car before it went underwater along with Yuvraj. These visuals that you are seeing at this moment are of the very spot, the place, the ditch, which was not supposed to be there. The warnings were ignored and it resulted in the loss, tragic loss of life of this young engineer who died because of the negligence of the authorities. Now, this is murder, as I said, by negligence, but this is the vehicle that he was driving on the fateful night of January 17th when his car crashed into this ditch and Yuvraj passed away. He was on top of this car for more than 45 minutes, kept begging, pleading. Let me take you right now to my colleague Teshri, who is getting us the details.
The forensic outcomes of this car, what we are also being told is that also has the recording, it also had the recordings of the front camera. So in all likelihood, this car will also be having, the car will also be, it will also be having the pictures or the very first moment of the videos so as to what was happening at that particular point of time. In the pictures, you can see that now the car is now being recovered. This is the car this is the car of Yuvraj Mehta, which was being searched, which was continuously being searched by, in fact, was continuously being searched by the NDRF teams, and now the finally remains taken next. Will be taken. Those are the pictures of car that we are giving you, and that was the drain sample. Car has been recovered. You can see that the front window of this car is completely broken right now. The window is completely damaged, and the pictures of the car and the visuals, you can see that how, in fact, the car is completely damaged and what the condition must have been at that particular point of time when Yuvraj was taking his last breath. He kept on calling, sending on this particular car only that please save me. The NDRF teams were here, the teams of SDRF, not just that, but also remember that the firefighters were also here, but nobody was able to help him out except one delivery guy who in fact came, was there in the drain for around 20 minutes, and finally he was able, and then since after fighting for 20 minutes, he finally said that he could not get Yuvraj. But yes, this particular car now has been recovered. These are the pictures that we are giving you. In fact, these pictures are highlighting the sheer negligence, the apathy, and also the carelessness of the authorities, the carelessness of the authorities as well. And not just that, but also, in fact, who are responsible for this entire incident, or rather, I should call it a murder. Because, earlier also there have been complaints, the residents have been complaining that when they drive on this route, because of the fog, the area goes completely invisible, and that is why it becomes very difficult for them to drive. And remember that when Yuvraj must be driving in the midnight, what must the condition have been? Not just that, but this area was completely covered with fog. He drove from this area and completely dashed, because remember that in January from this area and completely dashed, because remember then the vehicle accidentally went to the drain, and now the vehicle has finally been recovered. These pictures are giving you of the vehicle being recovered. The NDR are now here. They are trying the vehicle to the dumper, and now it is taken to the nearest police station where this car will be taken. Also, in fact, there could be a possibility that the last moment pictures as well could be recovered. But seems like all these parts are now all these things are now part of investigation. Now remains to be seen that what action next has been taken, because today only we saw that authorities came over here from Noida DM to police commissioner to the local, to the MP as well. Local leaders also did come over here to take the stock of the situation. We didn't ask them tough questions. We asked them that who is accountable, but none of them gave us any answer. But these are the pictures of the car that's just being recovered. We are giving you on NDTV so as to give a sense about what the picture of negligence could look like. So this is the picture of negligence and carelessness looks like, and what's the end result. Today we are reporting on the story. It we never know if this continues tomorrow or maybe next month or next week. The same apathy could take place here in Delhi NCR, which we call it as and this locality, in fact, also if we talk about the locality, one of the very posh localities as well. It is not an area are not constructed or the roads are bad, and that's why perhaps he could have, because of bad roads, dashed into this wall. No, it is nothing like that. It is all because of the negligence of the authorities, because no such barricades were placed. Now these barricadings are being placed, and now no signboards were also there at that point of time, and that's why, in fact, Yuvraj perhaps got into the drain. He kept on calling his father, but multiple times his father also was standing over here on the same spot. Remember what must the father be going through, seeing his child dying in front of his eyes. That today, first time in my life, feeling helpless. My yelling, kept on asking that, please help me, please rescue me. The rescue teams were here, but none of the rescue team was ready to go inside. Why? Because they were not trained rescuers. They are not trained divers. And here in the pictures, you are watching the visuals of the car. Now you see that now perhaps the hook that was tied to this car will now be detached, and then the bumper will be taking the car. This truck will be taking perhaps the car to the location for the further investigation. With VJ Ashok Mahale, this is Stage 3 for NDTV from Noida.
All right, that's Tejshri, my colleague, filing a report live at this moment where the car is being taken out from that very pit where, unfortunately, on 17th, Yuvraj died. This was not an accident, ladies and gentlemen. This was murder by negligence. Authorities kept sleeping on the wheel, on the job that they were supposed to do, which resulted in the death of this young 27-year-old. His family now left to deal with the wounds, and I can't imagine what the father must be going through, seeing his son die, being absolutely helpless in the last moments of his life. Tejshri continues to be with me. Let me bring her back in. Tejshri, we are seeing these visuals of the car being, picked up and loaded in that dumper. Of course, this becomes an important investigation for the police. But whatever now happens, Yuvraj will not come back. As far as the SIT is concerned, for them, this car becomes a very vital clue, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. The forensic team will also be investigating the car, and the pictures will be again showing you because now the car is being taken for the further investigation, as you rightly mentioned, because it is very important to probe, because it remains to be the last evidence. And we were also, in fact, seeing that how the condition of the car is. The window panes, the front glass, the back glass are all completely broken. And now that the car is being taken, as we were speaking to the friend of Yuvraj, who in fact went on to tell us that he had a very high definition front camera for the car as well, the dashboard camera. So high possibility that if they are able to recover, which could be possible and could not be as well, because the car was in the water for more than 4 days. So the investigating team will be trying to recover the evidence or the last pictures, so as to what actually transpired, with which speed the car was coming. Not just that, but also in fact what kind of situation was there at that point of time, as we were telling. And once again, we'll show the pictures of that drain as well, which we can call as the drain where the drain we talked about, and we'll also walk towards that area from where the car was recovered, and also in fact show that the reason being cited by the teams, that those who were present over here, that why they did not go into the drains, they are saying that because of these, that is why they are scared. And the water was dirty, the water was poisonous. But the question remains is that, if a delivery guy who knows how to swim could go inside the drain, was there for 20 minutes to find where Yuvraj is, then why not the rescue teams? And in fact, why the rescue teams were not having the equipments? Why these emergency numbers are so that they can help the common man, the aam aadmi, at any point of time when they are in need. But then when we dial the emergency number, what do we just remember what the condition of the father must have been, who was standing over here. Who was standing over here and was continuously asking for help. His friend told us that the father was continuously running on this lane, pleading to the people who were just passing from this area that please मेरे बेटे को बचा लो, किसी को swimming आती है तो कोई जाओ और मेरे बेटे को बचा लो. These were his father's words, and his father is really not able to cope up.
Right. I think what we'll do, we'll try and reconnect with my colleague Techie, who's on the spot reporting at this moment. We've lost that line with her, but these are live visuals coming in. The car has just been taken from the pit after 4 days. In fact, today is the 4th day from this is the place of accident where the car now been recovered, and it will be taken to the police station where the case has been registered. This becomes an important tool for the SIT as well. There will be a lot of evidence that they will try and gather, understand how and why the car broke that and went into that ditch. But remember, there were no signs, there were no signages, there were no reflectors, nothing to warn people. And this road where it happened, it was also a 90-degree turn. When I say 90-degree turn, so usually you will see a curve as far as usual turns are concerned. Here it's a straight turn where you go. That's the vehicle which is transporting this car to the nearest police station, escorted by the various agencies and the police. In fact, police also providing some sort of cordon and cover for this vehicle. This has become a very high-profile case. People are asking questions. Is this what we pay our taxes for? Is this what the emergency response teams, is this how good that the system is, where if you need these systems to work, they fail you right at the most crucial moment, the moment of life and death. My colleague Techie is back on the line with me. Techie, we can see these visuals of this truck, in fact, taking the car. It's been loaded onto that and now being taken away. Just tell our viewers what took the authorities 4 days. It also tells you how deep and how dangerous this ditch was, which nobody paid attention till the time Yuvraj lost his life.
Well, absolutely, and that is why, in fact, the teams, those who were present at that point of time, they were scared because of the drain over here that was so deep that they were not ready to dive in that. But also, in fact, number of them did tell the father of Yuvraj that we do not know how to swim, and perhaps that is why we could not go in this drain. The water of the drain is very much poisonous, and now they were not having the high-tech equipments as well. But now the question over here is that you see the irony, that they were not having the equipments, the high-tech machines or the divers at that point of time, or the trained rescuers to rescue an individual who was asking for help. But they had all the equipments. After 4 days, they came over here, and we saw that how the car was taken out. The car was recovered with the help of the crane, with the help of the machines, with the help of the rescue team, NDRF, SDRF. Why? Because the matter came to light, because we were asking that who is accountable.
Seem to have lost that link with Techie. I just want to play out these visuals once again, ladies and gentlemen, as this car is being pulled out from this ditch. And this becomes an important forensic, in fact, examination tool. But this car will always have that unfortunate memory of Yuvraj attached to it. Once he fell into that ditch, stood over this car, and as the car went down in water, Yuvraj also slipped and died. Nobody should go through this again, and that's the only hope that we have. A quick break. I'm coming back with much more on the other side. Stay tuned.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026
nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
टीएमसी जावे, बीजेपी आसपे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে।
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Masterstroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
M3M presents NDTV Masterstroke Art Awards. An odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
I have always had this inclination towards art, and if we don't collaborate and bring those artists forward, give them a platform, who else will?
Honoring the masters who define our cultural landscape, M3M presents NDTV Masterstroke Art Awards. Coming soon on the NDTV network.
The world in a state of complete turmoil, perhaps more than ever before since the Second World War. This year at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, the world will be grappling with critical issues. There are more global leaders here than perhaps we've ever seen in several decades. What are we looking at? We're looking at Greenland, we're looking at Iran, we're looking at Venezuela, we're looking at trade, we're looking at sanctions, we're looking at the future of the workplace and artificial intelligence. Will the dialogue here actually achieve anything? We'll have to wait and see. But do join us on the NDTV network with an excellent team of producers, anchors and video journalists as we continue to bring you the very latest from the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
After Delhi and Hyderabad teed off in style, the NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am now travels to Mumbai, where business leaders and professionals will connect and compete, charged with excitement and energy on one of the country's most storied courses. NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am, the course of champions, the conversation of leaders, 23rd January 2026, Mumbai. The front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
So many attacks.
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area.
North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. INS Vikrant. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed.
All right, some breaking news coming in at this moment, important one for India and European Union. Now, the trade deal nears completion is what we are hearing. The EU chief is expected to visit India after the World Economic Forum in Davos. In fact, the EU chief has said on a cusp of historic deal with India. It has been hailed as the mother of all deals, and this is going to be very, very exciting time.
Right after Davos, the next weekend, I will travel to India. There's still work to do, but we are on the cusp of a historic trade agreement. Indeed, some call it the mother of all deals. One that would create a market of 2 billion people, accounting for almost a quarter of global GDP. And crucially, that would provide a first-mover advantage for Europe with one of the world's fastest growing and most dynamic continents.
Exciting times ahead for India. With that, we are slipping into a very short break. We'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, with all the important news that you need to know here on Nationwide at 6. Thank you so much for being with us.